In this video, we are going to talk about 5-step process of hypothesis testing. First of all, we have to set up the null and alternative hypothesis. Do not forget that always, first of all, we define the alternative hypothesis, and then the null hypothesis is the opposite of the null hypothesis. In hypothesis testing, we either reject H0 or do not reject H0. Then specify the level of significance, and if it is not specified in the question, just work with the default level of significance 5%. Then draw the diagram to see that you are dealing with a left tail test, right tail test, or two-sided test. In the second step, calculate the test statistic. Based on the question, you may work with Z calculated, T calculated, or chi-square calculated. In the third step, if you are dealing with critical value approach, determine the critical value based on the pre-specified level of significance alpha. Then in the fourth step, you decide whether you have to reject H0 or you cannot reject H0. Reject H0 if the test statistic is in the rejection region, and do not reject H0 if test statistic is not in the rejection region. Then you have to state the conclusion in 3 complete sentences with the context of the problem. If we reject H0, we say we can reject H0 at alpha % level of significance. And we say that the sample does provide enough evidence against H0. And that is that the parameter that you are dealing with is significantly smaller or larger or different. It is based on the question. Actually, you interpret the H1 here. And if you do not reject H0 in the conclusion, you say that we cannot reject H0 at over 100% level of significance, and the sample does not provide enough evidence against H0. That is it depends which parameter you are dealing with in the hypothesis test. Put it in this sentence and interpret the H1 here. And if you are dealing with p-value approach, the first step is same as before. The second step is same. You calculate the test statistic. Just instead of working with critical value, we find the p-value based on the test statistic. It is good to have it in your mind that always the critical value is the value related to alpha, and the calculated value, which is the test statistic, is related to the p-value. So we find the p-value based on the calculated test statistic and then make the decision. If the p-value is less than alpha, we reject H0. If the p-value is greater than alpha, we do not reject H0. And at the end, the last step, state the conclusion is same as before. Thanks for watching this video.